I've had to make a new furry bit to sit on top of the microphone to stop wind noise. I had to cut it down anyway. The other one was getting a little bit threadbare. I was told they were called a dual, these things. You put over microphones to stop wind noise. Obviously based on that furry dog from Magic Roundabout all those years ago. Brian the Snail was my favourite. Or Zebedee. Boing, time for bed. Just better pack the kids off to bed. It's a long time now. The kids are nearly 60. I've come out to see if the dippers appear. There's a new dipper's nest there, but it only is completely. There's nothing in it. It's quite amusing in that somebody's made a little platform with a box for the dipper to nest in. It's very cleverly jammed its nest in at the far side. There's nothing in it. So, might be a little bit early. I've been in the house for 3 weeks. One of the things you're allowed to do is to come and get some exercise. Go for a walk or whatever. Every day, in fact. So I've come out into the wilds to look at this deciduous woodland, which I come and visit every year. Later in the year it will be ablaze with bluebells, but I'm hoping it's going to be ablaze with wood anemones. We will see. And this is one of many bird boxes. It's one of the few places on the east side of the country where you get pied flycatchers. Although I haven't seen a pied flycatcher here for quite some time, but it's obviously just been re-roofed, as it were. But we won't disturb it. Isn't that a lovely sound? Yorkshire beck running over the stones. Real dipper country is this. A secretive little bird. Listen to the silence. There are very few flowers out, but here you can see this great bank of garlic appearing. Wonderful stuff. It's good in salads actually. It'll be wonderful later in the year with its white flowers and the air smelling of garlic. And the other things which are emerging are the bluebells. This lichen covered stick. The lichen there is really hairy. Lichens show that the air is very pure. It's not polluted at all. This great bank will be a blaze of bluebells in May. It's funny, you don't get garlic and bluebells in the same place. They obviously mix a little, but the great displays, they're either bluebells or garlic. But you don't normally get them bluebells and garlic mixed. Anyway, something to look forward to. Here's another different lichen growing on a fir cone, a larch cone. Wonderful things. They're a partnership of a fungus and algae. The alga photosynthesizes and makes the food, and the fungus provides the algae with protection. But at the same time, living on the food that the alga has produced. Symbiosis it is called, for those who are interested. A symbiotic relationship. And a little beck trundles away down there. It's absolutely heaving with fly larvae. Mayflies, but mainly up here it's stonefly larvae, and some of them are really big. They're called creepers up here, and they're a great bait for fishing. And of course the other thing you find in here are little fish, particularly bullheads. We used to call them bullies, so they hide under the stones. We used to catch them and put them in a jam jar, and then tip them back in when we'd finished, because they didn't live, you couldn't take them home. You need highly oxygenated, fresh running water like this. Dippers chase them up. They're a sort of strange bird. They dive under the water and cling to the bottom, or use their wings for sort of swimming. This funny little feathered thing, and rummage around in the bottom for these insects. But it's very much a bird of these environments. Yeah, stonefly nymph. I can tell it's a stonefly nymph. It's just got two tails on the back. Mayfly nymphs have three. Anyway, let's put it back. Always interesting looking on the soft mud. You can see a deer slot, a deer footprint. Now lots of them, they're roe deer. But you very rarely see them. They see you before you see them and they're off. I've come out into much more open country here, and this is not much more light here, so you tend to get a lot of primroses. Great banks of them, maybe a little bit early, but we'll just have a wander up here for a little way and see if they're out yet. And here on this bank, the first of the primroses to appear. This is a south-facing bank. But lots more to come. Lovely flower. Another little group of them. And there are two types. This one's called a pin-eyed primrose, in the middle of the flower. Here's the stigma. If I zoom in there, you can see that instead of a pin sticking out the top, a sort of pin-like stigma, this has stamens in a circle round the top. You see them there. There are three of them. And this arrangement is of course to make sure that they cross-pollinate, so they produce very vigorous seeds, vigorous offspring. Self-pollination tends to produce weak offspring. Not in every case, but generally speaking. So these flowers are called thrumide. G-H-R-U-M. Don't ask me why. I have no clue. Where's the flower? They're called pin-eyed for obvious reasons. It looks like the head of a pin sticking out the flower. This little plant is called golden saxifrage. And it likes really wet places. And it's very, very common. It's a lovely lime green. It really stands out. Beautiful. Lovely flower. Well, they're all lovely flowers, to be honest. Some are a little more lovely than others. And here, where you've got a great patch of it, it really stands out. And here is one of the very earliest of the flowers that comes out, colt's foot. The flower appears before the leaves. You can see there are no leaves, just a stalk. The leaves emerge later. It obviously produces some pollen for early insects. I've just seen a peacock butterfly. They don't sit around very long. It's a wonderful stretch of beck, is this. These really ancient alders. Goodness knows how old they are. There's loads of nooks and crannies and little holes. And in the summertime, lots of migrants come back here, particularly the redstart. It's a lovely bird. Nests in these little holes, and the pale blue eggs it's got. Sort of flashing red on its tail. The male is particularly beautiful. And at places like this, here, which has got the remnants of a nesting from last year. No doubt it will be nested in again this year. It goes a long, long way down there into the trunk of the tree. It's a sort of place a jackdaw would nest. And that's a bit close to the ground for jackdaws. This open, rough grassland is also a haven for rodents, and therefore it's also popular with owls. And here it's a short-eared owl you see often, and they're one of the very few owls which you see during daytime. It's always a place where you see hares, lovely animals. And I've seen two, but they see me before I see them. By the time I get the camera out, they've gone. And the greatest spotted woodpecker has just flown into that tree over there. I thought I might hear them drumming today. The male finds a sort of hard, hollow piece of wood on a tree or branch, and it whacks it with its beak, making a drumming sound in order to attract females. And here one of the large larches fallen right across the river, or the beck. I'm interested to know what comes across here. These things are usually used by things like weasels and storks. They don't like water. You need a trail camera setting up, so you leave it for a couple of days and see what you get. Unfortunately, you quite often see traps set on these, They cross the beck. Goes across stoats and weasels. Don't mix very well with pheasants and partridges, which is a great shame. Most of the wood anemones haven't diverged yet, but there's one here, an early starter. On their own, you know, they're nice, but they're not particularly significant. You can see by all this foliage here, there are many, many more to come. And in a couple of weeks' time, this whole woodland area will be covered with them like snow. We'll have to come back and have a look. You can see here masses of anemones about to appear. And here on this fallen tree, you can see the black fungal threads which are creeping under the bark of this tree and gradually dissolving the wood. They spread out. These are the sort of main fungal threads, a bit like sort of veins and arteries, if you like. And they branch and branch and branch down into what in the blood system would be called capillaries, microscopic threads. The whole thing is called the mycelium. It's a real boggy bit, filled by marsh plants. Later in the year there'll be marsh marigolds, but for the moment all we can see are the emerging leaves of the yellow flag, one of the last of the flowers to appear in early summer. Here's a different lichen, a nice orange colour. And growing in amongst the moss is this rather startlingly coloured orange peel fungus. Isn't it just an amazing colour? Well, you won't get much further from your fellow man than up here. This evening sunshine, this lovely evening sunshine. 150 years ago it was healing with lead miners. The mine manager was called Charles Bathurst. And that's his big house there. Well, the London Lead Company it was called. And the pub was named after him, the CB Inn, which is that white building there where these 3 white vans have all ended up. Because they look like removal men. There was 3 in each, 3 blocks in each van, and they looked like they meant business, whatever the business might be. Little lamb the other side of this wall. It's probably 2 days old, if that, maybe a day old. It's very, very protective of it. Oh, there's a few. Beautiful. Anyway, amazing light and shade over here. See the rig and furrow there. Ancient fields. And the river with a swing bridge. Again, wonderful light and shade over there. These stone walls, typical of the Yorkshire Dales. Well, I'm back at the car, and having had my sort of exercise of the day, not only good for the physical part of the body, but very good for the mind. Indeed, very good for the soul. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, from Burbling Beck here in North Yorkshire. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, the wood anemones are out in this beautiful spring sunshine. Well, when I was here 2 weeks ago, there were a couple of flowers. These wood anemones, one of the highlights of the year, one of the very first highlights of the year in fact. The whole bank all the way up there, swathed in them. Isn't that just a wonderful sight? And all the way up there, wood anemones everywhere. They don't last very long, that's the sad. Like all of these things, very transient. They're everywhere. A fabulous display. I'm impressed. Yeah, beautiful Yorkshire beck. This bankside here. Covered in wood anemone and celandines. In a month's time this will be an absolute blaze of bluebells. Yeah. Well, here we are 2 weeks later. And all the primroses are out. And here's a queen bumblebee just emerged from this flower. I don't know what these little white flowers are. What a lovely sound they make. I don't know what these little white flowers are. It's kind of strawberry. But they obviously produce nectar. There's been a couple of bumblebees on, there's two on. You can see it there. There's two types of primrose. If you look in the centre of this one, you just see like the head of a pin. And it's called a pin-eyed primrose. Whereas if you look in the centre of this one, you can see three stamens at the top. And this is known as a thrum-eyed primrose, T-H-R-U-M. I don't know why, but that's what it's called. And it's all to do with cross-pollination. So this is a thrum-eyed flower. You see the stamens at the top, and you can see the stigma, the long style, and the eggs are in the bottom here. On a pin-eyed flower, it's the other way around. The stamens are here, and this bit, the stigma, is at the top, and a really long style all the way down to the eggs in the bottom. The idea being that pin-eyed flowers can't pollinate themselves and thrum-eyed flowers can't pollinate themselves, but it doesn't work like that 100%, because quite often pollen will fall from here onto there and fertilise this flower, but it results in poor fertilisation and weak offspring. But it's fascinating anyway. A banded snail shell. Nothing in it. They vary enormously in stripes. This one's got a lot of brown in, but a sizable number of them are yellow. There's been a big landslide. All of these valleys are very unstable. Landslides aren't unusual, they're very steep sided. Yeah, another big hole there. Sort of thing an owl or jackdaw would take up in. A wonderful sound. I could sit and listen to that all day. Here we have some gorse. It's not the best gorse in the business, but up here it has to tolerate some pretty extreme conditions. And weirdly, they smell of coconut. And this is the cuckoo pint. Its arrow-shaped leaves. And eventually it will have the strangest of flowers. And look at that when it comes up. There you can see all the yellow flag. Like soldiers on parade, each with its own little space. Chiff-chaff and chaffinch. And chiff-chaffs are warblers, they're a sort of summer migrant. And more and more are staying in this country, but not up here. It's just coming to water, so there it is. Might sing for us again. Seeking out chrysalis and larvae and spiders. Because it won't be long before the swallows are here. They normally come in the sort of last weeks of April. And you know what that strange sound is? That grating sound. That stopped. It was in fact a partridge. I only see partridge down in Woodland. There it is again. It's an odd sound. This partridge is getting all excited. There's another partridge appeared. I wonder if it's a hen bird. This partridge is giving it it's giving it the works. Unfortunately I can't see it. Here, lying along the path, is a pheasant's egg. Now when she got caught short before it got to the nest. With all of these things, I'll just leave it there. I've just been out for an hour. Pheasant. Coming back to see the wood anemones. And it's nice to be out without that apprehension, without that fear of being stopped by the police. Doing something which was lawful. Well, I've just returned from my 1 hour's walk in the middle of nowhere, nobody here, beautiful surroundings, and without fear of the police. I never thought in my lifetime I would ever fear the police when going about lawful business, just fear of the police leaving my home. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. Anyway, hopefully, after their instruction to stop these roadblocks, I won't see it ever again.